Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Trimsulin coaching series. My name is Nigel Branson. I am president and co-founder of First Fitness Nutrition, but I also want to be your weight loss coach today because I personally have been in the weight loss and wellness business for over 36 years now, and I too have struggled with my weight, so I feel like I understand the difficulty of people trying to lose weight, gaining weight, and adapting the right mindset to have lasting success. On today's coaching call, we have a very special treat for you because I'm going to be interviewing one of our medical advisory board members, a gentleman by the name of Dr. Philip Smith. And Dr. Philip Smith has been a practicing chiropractor in Louisiana for over 40 years, and he brings a wealth of information on the importance of gut health and weight loss. And so we're going to be hearing from him in our presentation. Before we get started, I just want to talk about some significant milestones that we've been able to accomplish at First Fitness Nutrition because they do play an important part in your overall health and weight loss success. Our late founder, a man by the name of Lee Causey, was the gentleman that invented the world's first diet shake back in the early 1970s. And then in 1989, he came to the realization that in order for a person to have optimal health and wellness, they had to have a cleansing of the inner body and colon, which has now fallen under the health and wellness umbrella of gut health. And we will be talking about the importance and significance of having good gut health as it pertains to lasting weight loss success. And then in 2023, we introduced the world's first GLP-1 plant-based weight loss program called Trimsulin. And we're very excited about this because this is your solution to lasting weight loss success. So just to give you a quick overview, if your body can't absorb the nutrients from the foods that we are eating, you will never have optimal health and wellness. And so this product that we're going to be featuring on gut health is called Reneú. And it's a daily inner body and colon cleanse with probiotics that is going to help reduce bloating and flatten your stomach. It's going to help remove toxins and restore gut balance. And it's going to support healthy elimination and digestion. But the most important benefit of this product, it's going to enhance nutrient absorption and immunity. And what that is going to do is going to enhance your weight loss success. So when you combined the Reneú inner body and colon cleanse with our Trimsulin weight loss program, it's going to help control your cravings, reduce your appetite, promote fat burning, and support healthy blood sugar levels. And you're going to really get incredible weight loss results. So we're going to be talking today with Dr. Philip Smith to help us understand what is so significant about cleansing the gut, about having good gut health, and how that affects long-term lasting weight loss success. And the reason that this is important is because before you really focus on your appetite control and fat burning, you've got to reset your gut. And that's why we've invited Dr. Philip Smith to join us today to explain the critical role that your gut health plays in weight loss, in energies, in your hormones, and even in your mood. So, Dr. Smith, my first question that I have for you is what exactly is gut health and how does it affect someone's metabolism and their overall weight loss journey?
Well, Nigel, thank you for inviting me back. And that's a great place to start when we start looking at overall health and wellness is understanding really what gut health is. And when we look at it just straight on, basically it's a balance of the microorganisms in the gut. What's that mean? It's the balance of all the bacteria and other microorganisms in the gut. That's critical. And it's also proper digestive function. So we're going to look at really at three key issues here, and that's called the microbiome, or the microorganism of the large intestine, small intestine, the digestive process, and how that all plays into your overall immune support. So here are the key aspects of inner body cleansing and gut health. The gut microbiome, or the internal environment of the gut. There are trillions of bacteria in your gut. In fact, science has now found that you have more bacteria in your gut than you do cells in your body, if you can believe that. But it's a truth. And the key is that you have to have a proper ratio of good to bad bacteria. So that's a key factor in making sure that the gut stays healthy. The second thing is digestive function. Now, there are two parts of that. There's digestive efficiency and digestive absorption. So we look at effectiveness and efficiency. So you have to have effective digestion, meaning you're getting the food broken down and getting the nutrients out. And then you have to have efficient digestion, meaning that it's getting into the blood system and that the byproduct is getting moved through the system at a proper rate. Next is the immune system. Most people do not realize 70% of your immune system is in the colon, in the gut. So that gut health is critical to you being able to stay healthy and fight off sickness and disease. Another aspect of healthy gut that people rarely ever even think about, or perhaps haven't even heard about, is the gut-brain connection. Now, you've heard oftentimes perhaps that the gut is the second brain of the body, and that is in fact true. And in fact, science has a name for that. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it's made up of a couple of layers, thin layers of cells in the gut that have millions and millions of neurons that are interplaying and interconnecting with the actual brain. In fact, science has now proven that the two brains, your brain up here and your brain down there, actually talk to one another. So in order for the body to be healthy and well, and those connections work well, you've got to have a clean environment. And that's going to impact your mood. And what I mean by that is they have found that a toxic environment in the body, when the body is not clean inside and the colon becomes congested. Now, when I say colon, I'm talking the entire tract, small intestine to the end of the large intestine. When that becomes sluggish and not functioning properly, it's going to affect your mood. It's been shown to cause anxiety. It's been shown to cause depression and other major mood changes. We know that stress affects that. And not only that, if you have that problem, it's going to cause you to have stress. But more importantly, too, we now know that it actually affects how the brain works with cognition. In other words, how you think, how you interpret, how the brain actually works. So detoxification and waste removal are essential. But I need to make sure that everybody right now understands one critical, important thing. Detoxing and cleansing is not a once or twice or 3 times a year process. It's an everyday thing that must happen in the body in order to keep the system clean and functioning hour to hour and day to day.
You know, after listening to you, Dr. Smith, it's crystal clear that gut health is not optional. It's foundational. And so for our listeners watching this presentation, when you use Reneú on a daily basis, you're not just cleansing your inner body and colon and feeling lighter, you're actually flushing out toxins that can slow down your metabolism. So you can see when you are improving your nutrient absorption, it's going to help the Trimsulin weight loss program work even more effectively. So balancing your gut bacteria is also going to help support your cravings, your blood sugar levels, and your fat loss. And then restoring your energy and focus so that you can stay consistent. That's the power of using Renew on a daily basis. And quite frankly, that's whether you're losing weight or just wanting optimal health and wellness. This is a product you've got to use every day. So, Dr. Smith, what are some of the real signs that someone might be struggling with poor gut health, even if they think they are eating right or exercising?
One, well, you're gassy, you feel bloated, and you may be constipated. And I want to stop here for a second. Constipation, yes, may be that you're not having a bowel movement on a regular basis, but you know what? You can actually be regular and still be constipated. Well, how does that work? It's like a pipe that's getting corroded or built up on the inside and it's gradually getting smaller and smaller. You're still getting water through it, but it's not flowing effectively and it's not flowing efficiently. The same thing can happen with the intestinal system and the colon, that it begins to get clogged and blocked. You may still have elimination, but you're not considered cleansed and working properly. So frequent illnesses are another aspect of a sluggish, unhealthy inner body and colon. So a weak immune system, like we said, 70% of your immune system is found in the colon. So if you're getting frequent illnesses, then you need to look to your colon first. How about energy? Well, when the colon is sluggish, there's a process that happens. A sluggish colon over time begins to backlog, and what's going to happen then, the liver becomes involved. And now I'm not eliminating as well as I should, because the liver is also a major detoxifier. And if the liver now is not functioning properly, it backlogs into the kidneys, and now the kidneys aren't working correctly, and you start getting things like high blood pressure. So all these things roll over. That takes a lot of energy to run that. So you're going to have low energy. Also, we mentioned the brain fog before, a thing called leaky gut, where you get an inflammatory response in the gut. Then you get particles getting into the bloodstream. Those particles now go to the brain and pass through blood-brain barrier and literally affect how the brain is going to function. You're not thinking clearly. You seem to be in a fog, and everything just begins to not work correctly in the mental aspect. And of course, then there's the skin. Well, how does the skin have anything to do with the colon? Well, what's one of the functions of the colon is to eliminate toxins and waste. If it can't do that efficiently, then it's going to find other avenues. And one of the primary avenues is the second largest organ in the body, called the skin. And you'll see things like eczema, seborrhea, psoriasis, acne. Those are all signs that you've got poor gut health and you're eliminating through the skin. And of course, bad breath is another sign, because now you're eliminating through the lungs. And of course, unwanted weight gain. If your colon is sluggish and you're getting a backlog of material in the colon, some of it will begin to dry out, attached to the colon walls. And now you actually begin to gain weight from uneliminated foods. What does a healthy colon look like? Completely the opposite. You're going to have better moods. You're going to see things like anxiety and depression begin to probably go away, because the brain is working better. Hormone imbalance, mentioned earlier, the liver. One of the things it does is balance hormones, particularly in women, estrogen. So now the hormones begin to balance out. Clearer skin. You're not eliminating through the skin. It's going out through the colon like it's supposed to. Reduced inflammation. So when the colon is clean and there's not the toxic backup, then the inflammation is going to go significantly down and maybe even totally away. That's going to result in more energy, because the body is not having to use excess energy to perform a vital function. Your immune system gets stronger because now you've got a proper balance in that flora that we talked about earlier. And it's really important that that be in proper balance. And like I mentioned, you'll have better brain function. When you've got all these things working together, guess what? You're going to sleep better. The body is going to be able to be more at ease. And so that is one of the reasons why gut health is so essential. Increased immunity, mental health is doing better, you're detoxing and digesting like you're supposed to, which in turn, you have a better metabolism. And listen, when you're clogged up and your body is toxic and it's not clean, the metabolism is affected to the downside. Rarely ever does it go up. It's always going to go down. And that means weight gain. So you're looking at now better energy levels, and your desire to do things more often and have more fun goes up as well.
And this is one of the reasons Renew is a core part of the Trimsulin weight loss program, because if your body isn't detoxing on a daily basis and your gut isn't clean, you're not going to absorb the nutrients properly, and therefore you're not going to be able to burn fat as efficiently as it needs to be. So when we talk about resetting your metabolism, we're really talking about that starting in the gut. That's where Renew comes in. It's this gentle daily cleansing product that is going to support healthy elimination, digestion, and balance your gut flora. Now, Dr. Smith, when some people think about cleansing, I believe they think that's an event that happens once or two times a year. Why is gut cleansing on a daily basis so essential for consistent weight loss and long-term health?
Well, for lack of a better way to describe it, we live in a toxic waste dump. I mean, we've got toxins and impurities all around us, the air we breathe, the food we eat, even our daily lifestyles, the things that we expose ourselves to. So these toxins over time that we get into our body through these various avenues begin to build up and take a toll. So they primarily accumulate in the gut and the intestinal system. And that's going to cause the digestive tract to be thrown off balance, which in turn affects your overall well-being. So this needs to be done daily, not just once in a while. Now, let me just step in here and say this. If you want to achieve an optimum level of health and wellness, then you've got to cleanse on a daily basis. This is not a once or twice a year thing. This is a inner outside. You go from inside to outside to cleanse, not outside to in, so to speak. All right. So you've got to do this through cleansing that inner body. That's where Renew comes in. Renew is the best product I've seen over my 40 plus years of practice in getting that inner body really back in balance and getting it cleansed. So we know that it helps flush out the toxins and the impurities from the intestinal tract. But when you get rid of things, you've got to put something back. You've got to replenish that inner colon with something good. And probiotics that are in Renew replenish that very vital microbiome with the proper healthy bacteria to keep that ratio in balance. And when you have a good ratio of good bacteria to bad, the bad bacteria can't grow and flourish and take over and give you bad health. So what are we looking at here? Well, Renew on a daily basis does a number of things. It's going to help with better nutrient absorption, right? It's going to help improve that energy and give you sustained energy like we talked about. On a daily basis, you want to keep that skin nourished, and you do that by detoxing. Regular bowel, we talked about that. A flatter stomach, when you have less bloating and gas because your bowels are working better, that's going to help. And a balanced and enhanced weight loss. So just going to have overall improved immune system and immune health as well. If you really want to get back to optimum level of health and wellness, you're looking at a weight loss system. You got to add Renew. If you're wanting to improve just your general well-being, Renew needs to be there every day. If you're an athlete and you're wanting to improve your performance and go from that aspect, Renew every day. If you want your skincare to really work like it's supposed to and have its optimum effect, then you've got to keep that colon clean. That's Renew on a daily basis.
Dr. Smith, thank you for joining us for today's presentation. As always, you're just a wealth of information. You're a man that loves giving back to people, and that's why you've been so successful. And we're just fortunate to have you be part of First Fitness Nutrition. So a 30-day program will include one control, one thermo, one Renew That's a 60 count, which means that they'll be able to use Reneú twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, and the healthy eating guide. And it'll cost only $175. And remember, that comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm going to encourage you to please get back with the person that introduced you to First Fitness Nutrition, asked you to watch this presentation, and we look forward to celebrating your success with the world's first plant-based GLP-1 weight loss program, Trimsulin. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for joining us today.